Hey everybody! Ha ha! Looky here. Clint, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I thought we played the music first.
We normally, well, it's gonna play later.
Oh,
We got an announcement to make right now.
what? Are
we
you
gotta
serious?
tell the people about something special.
Oh,
You see, Clint, last week,
right. We hit the big time.
your boys went big time.
Big time.
We got one of our heroes to sit down with us on the podcast and talk all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And watch a baseball game with us. With Big O Oliver Miller. That brought some credibility to your boys. It really did.
Got
and
that
now this
cred.
week, with a big, huge special thanks to our buddy Mike Floyd. Mike Floyd, the man, has helped us.
Got two first names, people.
That's right. He has helped us out. And we have Michael Turner on the podcast here in just a minute. Michael freaking Turner.
Regional MVP.
Regional MVP. The catcher for the Arkansas Razorbacks right now. The guy who sits back there and guns people down with that fiery right arm. The guy who was badmouthed by a radio show host and handled it with class. He does a great job. I had fun doing the interview. We've already done it.
Answers a lot of great questions.
Just some great stories and some behind the scenes stuff that about the game, about what he does during the game and why he does what he does. Just nice. Couldn't be a nicer young man, a nicer guy. He's a kid, Clint. He's a kid.
Just a young lad.
He's older than most of his teammates, but to us, just a kid.
If you're under 30, you're just a kid.
That's right. But we're so thankful to have him on, y'all. Listen, like and share this video. The Hog, we have the Hog starting catcher, the regional MVP, on our podcast the week before Omaha. We're going to Omaha, baby, and we're talking to him. Share this with folks. People are wanting to know what the Hogs are thinking. He tells us what the Hogs are thinking. He tells us about what it was like to play in that regional one against Oklahoma State and some other stuff too, y'all. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's a great interview. And we ask a lot of questions. I think gives some great answers. I think hopefully y'all enjoyed as much as we enjoyed doing the interview. So,
hey, he is a fan of a great football team. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, guys, seriously, thanks for listening. Like and share. And we appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, Mike Floyd. Get ready for Michael Turner.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you will change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you will change his name.
Hello. Welcome to the Big C and Bigger T podcast. I'm your boy, Bigger T, as always. And y'all, we have a great show for you. I got to announce him first, but, hey, Clay Clark's here. How you doing?
I'm here. Enough about me. Get on to the guest.
Enough about you. We got a special guest, y'all. Look, this is big time. We're this podcast, Michael, I don't know if you know this, but actually our buddy, mutual friend, Mike Floyd, ran into Paul Feinbaum on and Mike had just been on our podcast and he showed him our podcast and he said, I quote, I think I'm quoting, I may be getting this all wrong, but in my mind, this is what I heard Mike say. Oh, that looks great. I'll have to check that out.
Buddy actually
got that going for you.
Podcast I've ever seen. I'm going to subscribe right now. So
that's right.
We're endorsed by Paul Feinbaum. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, everybody, we have Michael Turner, the catcher, the man, the regional MVP, the guy who he may have some injuries from that dog pile that he don't want to tell us about because there's always somebody comes out of one of those injuries.
Oh yeah.
But Michael Turner, man, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
You got your bags packed, ready to go to Omaha, huh?
Yeah, doing some laundry right now, but I gotta start packing soon. I think we're leaving Wednesday, so the opening ceremony is on Thursday. So I'm excited.
Man,
So
all the Razorback fans are super excited for you, man. People talking about you at church, at the store, at Walmart, at McDonald's, wherever we're at. People are, man, they're Razorback baseball crazy.
Heck yeah.
And half these people don't know what a baseball is, but
that's true. There's a lot of them that don't.
Yeah. Hey, I got my neighbor lady, she's a widow. I don't know how old she is. She's loving it. She's watching y'all.
Heck yeah, man. It's fun to be a part of.
Saying, oh, I can't believe they're in a rain delay. Well, man, tell us about, all right, you're from Ohio, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now I got to ask you a question, and this may make a big difference on how this interview goes.
I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest with you.
All right, you're from Ohio.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Who's your football team?
I get this question a lot, man, and nobody ever likes my answer. But to be honest with you, I don't watch a whole lot of football. But if I had to pick a team, I'm closer to Cleveland, so I got to go with them.
There you go. It's crisis averted.
Yeah, crisis.
All right, we're good then. We're good.
If you would have said the Bengals or the Steelers,
no, man,
no.
Not
I
me.
don't care. I just want my fantasy team to do good, so it works.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I don't blame you.
I wouldn't have given you a hard time because when you were born, they probably didn't have a team in Cleveland.
All right.
But I've been a Browns fan since the 80s, man. And I'm
nice.
in Arkansas my whole life. But I love the Browns. Bernie Kosar.
Cool.
Today, so
heck yeah.
So tell us about growing up in Warren, Ohio.
Oh man. Super small town. I graduated with, I think it was 120, and we had one of the bigger classes to go through. So it was one of those towns where everybody kind of knew everybody, and we actually had a really good athletic class going through. So nobody believes this, but I played soccer. Soccer was probably my favorite sport growing up until I got to high school, which everybody's shocked by that one. But yeah, we were always good at soccer, basketball, and baseball. And once we got to high school, we kind of stopped the soccer thing, but we played a lot of basketball and baseball, and won the first ever state championship senior year there. So that was super cool to be a part of. And my sister won it the same year. So that's one of my best baseball memories. But yeah, man, growing up there it's a cool memory. Super small town, and got to be a part of some really cool stuff.
Yeah, your graduating class had just slightly more than ours. I think we had a class of 100, and we went over this a couple weeks ago on the podcast, and I was higher in that class than Travis.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. That's funny.
We were the robust 2.4 GPA.
We're both
nice.
We actually went to high school at the same place that Caden Wallace went.
Okay, cool. So that's not too far from the stadium, right? A couple hours.
Yeah, it's right in Central Arkansas, just about 30 minutes.
Caden actually broke quite a few of my records.
I bet.
I didn't even play baseball. You're good.
Yeah, Caden's probably the second best athlete to come out of Worcester. Me in the first. I was a terror on the basketball court. No, I'm just joking.
All right.
Just kidding. He's by far the best. Worcester's a town of about 500, so it's but the school was Greenbrier. Anyway, now your dad was a pro baseball player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got drafted out of high school, so he was committed to Ohio State actually, and got the call late in the draft and just decided to go. So yeah, he never got the college experience, but after seeing what he's seen this year, I think he's a little jealous for sure.
That's right.
I bet so. So what position did your dad play?
So in high school, he was a pitcher, first base, outfielder. He's left-handed. So he was, he swears to this day he would have got drafted as a pitcher, but he was a pretty big time quarterback at the time, and he actually hurt his shoulder pretty bad doing that. So they switched him over to first base and outfield. But yeah, more of a hitter.
Yeah. And now your sister's a good athlete on her own right too, right?
Yeah, she's probably the best
Youngsters.
athlete in the family. So we were both at Kent for, let's see, I was there for 4 years. She was there for 3. She was Gatorade Player of the Year, the whole thing. Had an offer from just about every Division I school in the country coming out of high school, and decided to stay close to home. And I think I had something to do with that, being a Kent already. She just wanted to go somewhere familiar. But yeah, fun fact, this is the first year ever in my life that I had more home runs than she did. So I got to brag on that a little bit.
Yeah,
First one.
Take that, sis.
Yeah.
Well, you got that little regional MVP thing you can brag about.
Oh yeah, that's right. Bragging rights.
Y'all are swinging at some crazy pitches, but I think I'd still rather stand up there against what y'all go against than what she's going against with that crazy underarm junk.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I've never seen it. I would like to see it just to compare, but I've never seen it.
That does some weird stuff, man. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, and now you didn't start playing catcher till late in high school.
Crazy story again. So I was a shortstop my whole career growing up, shortstop pitcher actually. And one of my first summer ball coaches ever handed me some gear. He played pro ball, so he had a pretty good idea of what was going on. Gave me some catcher's gear and was like, when you get to college, you're going to catch. And I was like 10 or 11 or 12 at the time. And I was like, you're crazy, man. I didn't believe him.
You were 10 years old when he told you that?
Yeah, it might have been a little bit. Between 10 and 13, somewhere around there.
What a good
Anyways, I went to some super small college showcase. And at the time, you had to put down 2 positions that you played. And I had the gear, so I was like shortstop and catcher. So naturally, at the camp, I got to do all this catching showcase thing now. It's just like I'm super uncomfortable. And I did the pop time. Daytime, you write it down, whatever. And I put up a good number. And a scout for Kent State was there. And that's when they invited me to their camp. So that was actually, I think I might have went to an Ohio State camp once, but yeah, the only camp I really ever went to was Kent. And same situation, get there. And after the camp, they have a big game with all the players that came to the camp. And I'm starting a catcher. First time I'd ever caught in a game in my life. And naturally, the pitcher, 4-pitch walk. And I'm like, probably 3 pass balls. I don't even remember. I know it was terrible. But he gets on first. He steals second. I throw him out by like 5 feet or something like ridiculous. So pause the scrimmage, send the kid all the way back to first base and said, do that again. Had him steal on the next pitch, threw him out again. They pulled me out of the scrimmage, said, we're going to offer you. And it was like, it was wild because I'd never caught in a game. I know everything else besides the arm looked terrible, but it was pretty cool.
Okay, just to make sure I understand, in your first time playing catcher in a game at a college campus at a showcase,
Yep,
you get offered to play catcher.
Yes,
at a reputable college.
Yes, it was very crazy. They pulled me out.
This wasn't South Arkansas Technical College in Kansas.
No.
This is Kent State.
Oh man, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know Arkansas was a little higher than that, or Ohio State, but Kent State's no.
Yeah, they were pretty good. I mean, they've always been pretty solid in the MAC. They've won a lot. I was super excited to go. I didn't know a whole lot about college baseball at the time, to be honest. I was just super happy to get an offer.
Oh yeah.
And we just got the time period. They gave me, I think it was 2 weeks to say yes or no. And I said, yeah, I'll come. It's close to home. I like the field, whatever. And we went, but yeah, they pulled me out of the game and they said, we want you to come catch. And I straight up told them, look, I've never caught in a game before in my whole life. So I'm going to need some help there. But they said, yeah, we'll teach you, but just bring the arm with you. Said, okay.
Dude, that's awesome. That gun.
Yeah. Crazy story. Yeah. Crazy story.
So which one do you like better? Did you like shortstop better or you like playing catcher better?
That's a tough one, man. After catching for I've got some experience now. I think I like catcher better, but
yeah,
I'm still super comfortable. Like I've played a lot of third and first base at Kent as well. Probably 50-50 between either a corner or catch. So I was super comfortable there, and it's definitely a lot easier on your body, but I think I like catching more just because you're a part of every play of the game. It just keeps you super involved.
Now you have a little bit of a different style. And for us old timers like Clint and I, when we see you back there, we think Tony Pena. You know who he is?
Yeah, I've heard of him. I haven't watched much of him, but I've heard of him.
He was one of the first one to go down to a knee, like or to kind of. Sometimes he just do the splits back there. He'd go down on his butt almost. Yeah. What kind of makes you do that, or what kind of got you to start doing it? Was it just that it's comfortable to you, or what?
That actually started at Kent. So I've only really had one catching coach prior to Arkansas, and it was my freshman year at Kent. His name was Tony Caldwell, and he taught me basically everything I know about catching. Other than I'm big on watching video. Like I'll go back watch a video myself, compare it to whoever I like at the time. But yeah, that was kind of his thing. I wasn't receiving the low ball that well when I got there, mainly because I didn't know how. But that just helped me get below that ball a little bit better. And I know a lot of people don't like it because of the whole mobility thing, but I think the amount of pitches that you steal in that position at the bottom of the zone correlate to wins more than maybe one pass ball every 5 games, just because it's a crazy wild pitch that maybe somebody might get on 2 feet, maybe. But if you ask the pitchers, if it gets by me, it's like they're mad because they threw it that far away from the zone. So if it's remotely close to the zone, it's doable. But if it's like it's too much, but I mean, there's a point where it gets to be too far. Yeah.
And I can see where people, and I've heard some people complain about, say they don't like that style or whatever. Hey, no one told Tony Pena and Pudge Rodriguez that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And the thing is, if you don't, you're right. If you're not letting that ball go between your legs and back to the backstop, if you're stopping those, and and that happens, man. That's that. You're right. That saves you, and you got the arm to make up for. People say, well, it makes it harder for you to throw down. Well, people ain't stealing on Michael Turner very much.
Yeah, I honestly, I would disagree with that a little bit. I've done all the tests. I test myself. I have people telling me all the time. I'll go from 2 feet, 1 knee down, left knee, right knee down. I'm testing all of them just to see. The right knee down was faster on a lot of them than it was on 2 feet.
Really?
It's actually the way I position myself. It's almost in a really good. It's almost a better position to throw than the 2 feet thing. It's almost more movement with the 2 feet up or 2 knees up rather than the 1 knee down. So. Yeah. It's really similar, man. I'm not giving up much on the whole pop time.
Hey, it's working for you, buddy.
That's right. That's right.
It works.
Stay with it.
For all those haters, you can say, I'm packing for Omaha right now.
Yeah.
Regional MVP.
I mean, you don't have to brag. Travis is going to do it for you.
That's right.
Yeah, all right.
I'll talk. Me and Clint will talk the smack for you.
Regional MVP.
All right.
Now you decided to transfer. You played 4 years at Kent, and I'm sure you enjoyed. I'm sure that was an enjoyable time there. But like a lot of people, I get you graduated from Kent, right? So you were a graduate.
Yeah.
And so you had this extra year. You could go and you entered the transfer portal, and I'm sure that's when the people started calling. And there's some obvious answers to this, okay? But I got to ask the question. Why Arkansas?
I've gotten that one a lot, man.
I'm sure you have.
So we played here in 18 when I was at Kent. So that was my freshman year, and that was my first exposure to big time college baseball. Like when I say I didn't know a lot about college baseball, like I genuinely didn't know that Arkansas was good at baseball at the time. Like I had no idea like how much better the SEC was. I was just kind of out there. Yeah. So we came, and it was early on in the year, so it was a little bit cold, but naturally sold out stadium, man, with calling the Hogs, and I was like in shock. I just couldn't believe that it was college baseball. It felt like professional baseball. So that stuck with me, man. When I got in the portal, I had a lot of teams reach out, and I've told a few people this. I was like a couple hours away from going to Kentucky, actually. That was the first SEC school to reach out. Yeah. And I was in Kent with my girlfriend at the time. We actually went to dinner, and we were just talking about where I was thinking about going. And this was last year. So when Arkansas was number 1 the whole year, ridiculous season. And I just jokingly said to her, I was like, man, what are they waiting on? Where's that email at? Or like just messing around. And I'm not kidding. 5 minutes later, I looked down at my phone and Coach Thompson sent me an email. And she said she'll never forget the look on my face. So it was just kind of like a dream come true.
That's great. Well, and what's been, I mean, of course, the bigger venue, the bigger, all that kind of stuff. But for you in your development as a player, what's been the biggest differences at Arkansas, and how has Arkansas maybe helped you out in that way?
There's a lot. Start with the coaching. I mean, we got best hitting coach, best head coach in the country, in my opinion. So, I mean, other than my dad growing up, I never really had a hitting coach. When I went to Kent, they never changed anything. They kind of let me be, which I guess it's a compliment in some ways. They just kind of let a high school guy come in and stick with what he's been doing. But yeah, I didn't change much there. When I got here, we messed with the power a little bit. Starting to use my legs a little bit more, and I've hit more home runs this year than I have in any other years so far. So I'm happy with that. But I mean, the facilities and the opportunity to develop, like when you come here, you can get as good as you want to be. There's just so many options to, like, if I wanted to go to the field right now, I can set up a machine or something to throw me ground balls or receive. Like, you can do whatever you want. So as good as you want to get, man, you got the opportunity to do it here.
And am I right in, I kind of glanced at your stats at Kent. We we do top-notch research around here.
All right.
I didn't even Google you. I just came.
But no, seriously, seems like, some of your stats have picked up this season from what they were at Kent State. And logically, you would think you're playing against, week to week, better talent, being in the SEC, just being in, against bigger schools. I think that says a lot for what's happened to you since you come to Arkansas, man. Because I mean, that stats are. I mean, you had good stats at Kent, so I mean, I'm not saying that, but you got more home runs here, right? Did you ever have? I saw your senior year. I think you had 6 home runs at Kent.
Yeah, that was my most ever. So 9 passes that up. But senior year, I will say, I got hurt last year, so I probably would have had a few more than that. But yeah, 9's the most I've had.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man. That I think, like you said, that speaks to the coaches and the facilities, and
for sure,
what can happen when someone takes advantage like you have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now Travis is more of a serious guy, and I'm more of the boxers and briefs guy. I'm not asking that though. So I played football. Now, played is a loosely used term. I was on the team. I got to hang out. They let me go on the bus. That was. I did warm-ups. I knew after seat rolls, it was all downhill from there. So at Arkansas Tech in Russellville. Now, but I do remember going to Southwest Missouri State or Northwest Missouri State and thinking about how hilarious their student section was. So who's got some of the best student sections that at least make you laugh, that are funny? I mean, you got some people that are probably flipping you the bird and calling your mom awful things. But ones are like genuinely like, that's good.
I think the number one place we played this year, fans wise, I think would be Texas A&M. That place was absolutely electric when we were there. But this past weekend was pretty good, man. We got to the field at let's see, it would be Saturday, the first game. I think we got there like 8:45 or 9, and they had people lined up in right field. They were getting after it pretty early, so it was cool to see that. They had some good ones. That was Carolina was pretty funny.
That's good.
They seem to be a respectful place, like their fans seem to. The teams seem to respect each other, unlike the regional.
yeah, a little different vibe there.
All right, you don't have to say anything about this, but when homeboy went prancing to third, I'm an old football player, so I wanted to make a tackle right then.
You had to stop yourself from going viral, probably.
But I think it says a lot about y'all that y'all, I love what the coach said at Chapel.
That was cool.
he didn't have to say that about y'all. I mean,
Yeah.
when he has to say congratulations to Arkansas whenever a coach has to be there, right? But he said y'all were classy guys and you didn't talk, you just did your work, and and he had just saw y'all dogpile on his field, to celebrate.
Yeah, that's a cool compliment for sure.
But he understood too that was just nature of the beast. When you make a big play like that.
Yeah. Now this weekend, we had two just phenomenal starting pitching performances. I mean, Connor was dealing, McIntyre was dealing. It was just a thing of beauty. How much pride do you take as a catcher in calling a good game? How much do you have? How much do you call the game? Is it all radioed in? How much feedback do you have?
I would say 98% of the game. And yeah, I take a lot of pride in that. But I mean, I got to give them a lot of credit. Just because I call fastball outside doesn't mean they're going to throw it there. So I do take a lot of pride in that. I'd like to think I'm really good at calling a game at this point in my career. I've been playing college baseball a long time, so I've seen a lot of hitters, and I'm a big watch what they do the previous at bat guy. So we do the scouting report. I watch all their videos, and Coach Hobbies breaks it down for us and gives us his report. I kind of read it, then I'll watch video on my own and see, do I agree with everything he said? Do I see something different? And then you guys probably see me in the game. I'm always pulling out that white card out of my back pocket. And it's kind of it just gives me some hints, say maybe it says he struggles with the fastball outside or something like that. So I go the first time through the order, I'm more of a pitch to their strength guy. Even if I know this guy might hit the curveball well, can he hit Connor's curveball well? I'm not going to pitch around him just because he does that well. So yeah, man, I take a lot of pride in that. But like I said, I like to read their first at bat. So say he hammered the curveball before, and then it's like a mind game for me. So if I'm hitting in my first at bat and I hammer a curveball, I'm thinking they're probably going to throw a fastball here, right? As a hitter. So you got to assume that. So I'm thinking as a catcher, if that's what he's thinking, why would I not throw something off speed? It's just it's a big mind game. So I'm constantly talking to myself and just kind of going through it.
That's cool to think. Now, when you got that card, are you getting radioed in some of that information about those hitters too?
So me and Coach Hobbies have a thing. All I have to do, if I'm looking at the pitcher, he won't say anything. All I have to do is turn my head and I'll kind of look at him out of the side of my eye, and he's always watching me. So as soon as he sees me do that, he'll tell me hey, I think you should do this. Or a lot of times he'll just say, I trust you with whatever you think here. But yeah, most of the time I'm calling it.
That's cool. That's great. The coaches trust y'all to do that, because some of those games they show that coach on the sideline and he's talking into that thing every at bat. I forget. Was that the regional, Clint, where they were showing that on TV a lot?
Oh yeah.
But that coach was over there. He was saying something just about every time. But I think, and that to me, y'all are. Y'all aren't high school kids. You watch film, you study, and that's that's
was that the same way at Kent? Did you kind of get to call the game yourself there too, or just something you started to do more at Arkansas?
No, I called it. So my freshman year, I caught 1 inning, and I called it then. And sophomore, junior, senior year, I called every pitch. We didn't have the radios then, so when I got to Arkansas, that was a whole new thing.
Oh wow!
But yeah, we didn't have that. So I called every single pitch at Kent, and yeah, we just got a lot of experience there. And then I came in and they let me call them in the fall. I think it was kind of a test to see how I would do. And I think they were happy with it. So they just kind of gave me that freedom.
It showed they could trust you. Now, one of the things that every time he comes in, there's things that, when we're watching the games on TV that the announcers, hey, did you know Coach had to give Jalen Battles the number 2?
Man.
That comes up every first at bat for Jalen Battles. The announcer says that. It's kind of become a joke on Twitter. Hey, did y'all know? But one of the things when Tiger comes in is they talk about spin rate. Okay, that he has the greatest spin rate, or whatever, or he has the spin rate of that most pros have. Okay, explain that to me from the catcher's perspective. What does that do, and or from the hitter's perspective too? How does that make it more?
It's hard to explain from a catcher's perspective, really. All I can say is that it breaks a lot more and a lot faster than everybody else's does. From a hitter's perspective, if somebody with an average curveball throws you a curveball, you can usually see the seams on it. I can pick up like a 4-seam spinning perfectly backwards, 2-seam, like you can see the seams. It's going to go this way. Curveball, you can see it, like you can see the axis of the ball, but his is spinning so fast that it just looks like a white blur. So it looks like it's a fastball coming in, because when it's a 4-seam fastball, you can't see the seams. It's coming completely straight. So that's what it looks like out of his hand, regardless of what he throws.
So it's not necessarily the speed that it's coming at you that's making it hard to see. Like you know, you can imagine like Chapman for the Yankees throwing 107. Okay, that's just hard to see. But if you throw that spin into it, because those seams, those red seams on that ball is what you pick up with your eye. So you can, you know, I mean, well, as little kids, what were we told? Keep your eye on the ball, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, man, his ball is just electric. From even his slider has a really good spin rate too. So all 3 of his pitches, we have a camera when we're throwing bullpens. It'll be right behind the pitcher's arm, and it shows his release point, and then it'll show the overlay of how the balls break up. And his is just—it's exciting to watch, man. It's like you just cannot pick up on it. That's why he's so tough to hit.
And once again, okay, when you can look at Clint and I, when we tried to go to the baseball field, they said, "No, go to the football field." You know,
I get it. I get
y'all
it.
are too big for this. Okay, but is I forgot what I was going to ask now. No, when he throws those pitches like that, is it something in his hand when he releases it that makes that spin happen? That he just has something that works, or is it just it's just the way it comes out of his paw?
Yeah, man, that's $1 million question, man. If I could figure out how to spin it like that, I would. I'd make a lot of money, man. I don't know. I think it has something to do with his arm action. If you watch him in slow motion, his arm is super whippy. But I don't know. You can't teach it, man. I don't know.
So what was more fun? Catching the final out, the regional, or walking it off in the super?
Walking it off in the super, man. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, we're going to Omaha, so I have to say that. But that situation in the regional was electric, man. I was fired up. We had a freshman on the mound. It was just a huge situation. That was super fun to be a part of. But I got to go with the super, man. We're going to Omaha. I'm pumped.
Yeah. See, there's no way to really do it. I mean, it's like, hey, picking between the region. But I just, you know, because I'd often ask, I mean, probably what's more fun, just blowing the smoke by somebody and them not touching it, or freezing them on the curveball.
Oh man, that situation with Riggio, because of everything that happened, was just made it even better. I mean, he had like probably the best offensive regional in the country. So to strike him out, I mean, he knew fastball was coming. That's all he was throwing at the time. So I think that's why everybody was so fired up, because nobody really expected him to strike out right there. But Hagen's a stud, man. It was fun.
Hey, and he joined you with the one knee down during that too, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
that to me, that was the best part. Not only did he, you know, did you get him in that situation, you know, the guy that had been, you know, and hey, look, we're not too hard on that guy. If he's on your team, he's one of those guys that you don't.
Oh yeah.
Right. Because he does go hard. He's a talented kid. But when you're on the other team, it gouges you. It just
for sure.
But just to see that, you're right. And then of course, you know, for Michael Turner, he's MVP of that.
Because you started out, you got regional MVP. So
the stats were a little better for you, and that's but the bigger team deal, of course, is Omaha. Now, okay, I want to address something real quick, and this will be, you know, there was a talking, he's not even a talking head, a talking voice in Northwest Arkansas that made some dumb remarks, and thankfully he paid for those. But I don't want to talk about him. I thought your remarks, and we talked about it on here, the stuff he complained about, I thought was very refreshing.
Mhm.
Because normally when we you get the Tom Brady answers from athletes, right? And I know that's some ways the way you are coached up, but you were just being real honest. I thought, man, finally he's answering the question, because y'all get some dumb questions in press conferences. And so, but he's answering a good question and he's answering it honestly. It's not easy when people get on Twitter and say bad things about you.
Yeah.
No one likes that.
No, man. No. I that got taken like so far out of context, man. I was like, if you go back and watch that interview, this is my thing. That question set me up for failure. I could not have given a good answer to that question.
Yeah.
I couldn't have. Regardless of what I said, it was going to be bad. And this is the best fan base in the world. And I did not mean anything bad by any means at all, other than if we lose a game that we're not supposed to, and you see somebody say you suck on Twitter, I'm like, dang, that sucks. Like, I don't know, but that got taken way far out of context. But yeah, whatever.
But Michael, I think that's a good lesson for fans, because there's some fans that I love Arkansas, and I'm a fan. They do some dumb stuff, man.
Yeah.
Say some dumb, and we start getting this attitude like, we can gripe and complain and cuss out everybody we want to cuss out about things. And we got to remember, man, y'all are just you're trying to do your best. It ain't like you go through a slump at the end of the season. It ain't like you're, we're going to show these fans. We're going to jump on the struggle bus for a while. No.
Yeah.
But
it's not like that.
I admire you on how you handled that. And by the way, the NIL deal with the rental company.
I mean, that's Lane Kiffin level, brother. That really is. That's Lane Kiffin level.
So did they approach you with that idea, or did?
So I was just scrolling through Twitter like always after the game, or I don't even remember when it was, and our announcer for basketball and baseball, John Williams, tagged me and him at something and said, like, this is a good opportunity or something along those lines. And they responded and said, yeah, let's do it. So I messaged them and I was like, hey, are you guys serious? And it kind of went from there. So it worked out for both of us, man. I'm excited about it. So see.
Well,
I loved it so much. I posted to our Facebook page as soon as I saw it. I'm like, this
it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's a great troll. It really is.
Well, and one of the ways we're able to have this interview with you today is my longtime friend, and Clint's known him a long time too, but a new friend of yours is Mike Floyd. And Mike's a great guy. He lives in Alabama, but he's an Arkansas fan through and through. And one of the things Mike does, and I know you've seen this, and he will pick out some players. Normally it's the guys on Twitter that have the little envelope beside them or whatever, to where you can send them direct messages. And he just decides he's going to send them encouraging messages and just try to, say, hey, proud of you, way to go, and stuff like that. I know he sends you a lot of like a motivational, he does that for his job, for salespeople. So he sends you a lot of leadership and motivational stuff and things like that. Tell me and I know there's other fans that do that too. Okay. But I think that's such a wonderful thing that
it is.
There's some fans that are because it's those that yell the bad stuff, the ones that get heard way too often.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I want to talk about this on here, and maybe other people will do the same. What has that meant to you to have some people that like actually take some time out and say, hey man, I want to encourage you?
It's like, it's overwhelming. It's a good type of overwhelming though. Like ever since that whole thing came out where that guy said whatever he said, it's like there's so many. I try my best to respond to everybody, but the amount of messages and all kinds of stuff that I got was it was special, man. It just really shows how good this fan base is, and they're just so passionate about the guys. And Mike's just a good example, man. He's just always on top of things. And stays up with all of it, and he always has something good to say almost every single day, and it's refreshing. It just kind of makes you sit back and be like, man, this is fun to be a part of.
Yeah. And man, and that's something I hope, and that's something that he's, you know, him doing that is, you know, got me to be. I would do that every now and then, you know, with football players or basketball players or baseball players, whatever, just kind of every now and then. But that's something that I know, just hearing him talk about that, and honestly, just hearing him talk about his conversations with you and what it's, and you know, hear you talking about what it's meant to you has made me want to do it a lot more. Because man, I just think if I was in y'all's situation where people are always, there's always critics, there's always people. I think that's definitely an important thing. Now, did Stanford end up winning?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. They were up 8-3 at one point, so I would imagine they did if they could hold, or if they hold on. But I'm not sure yet.
So that's who y'all will have. What day do y'all?
We got
we all play
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, I think we play Saturday.
How are you feeling going in? Does everyone seem to be pretty healthy? Does the pitching staff seem to be in a good? To me, from outside looking in, especially the way that super regional went, the pitching staff should be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, man. I think everybody's starting to click. I've been saying it since the fall, and it was some of the remarks. Like, I know Robert had that video out about talking about we're going to make some noise in the SEC tournament and stuff like that. But we all saw it, man. From the fall till now, we just all saw the potential, and it's cool to finally get our comments backed up a little bit by the actions on the field. Everybody's starting to click on all cylinders, and yeah, we're feeling good.
Good. Well,
yeah, I was a little nervous that, you know, I did see that there's a chance that we could end up playing Oregon State again. Where they'll show that video.
You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, it's
worst birthday I've ever had, Michael.
Oh,
that's right. It was on your birthday, wasn't it?
It was on my birthday. One of my friends
posted.
One of my friends who's a Florida fan posted on my Facebook page. He's like, I hope your birthday ended exactly how you wanted it, Clint.
Oh man,
that ain't right.
It wasn't right. It wasn't right.
Yeah, he's not his friend anymore.
Anyway,
Yeah, we don't, and that's all. Yeah, definitely, because we just don't want to see that highlight. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm just like the first time in my life I'm pulling for Auburn tonight.
Yeah.
Just so I don't have to watch it. I have nothing bad against Oregon. I just don't want to see that play no more.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Man,
sorry to bring that up.
Now growing up in Ohio,
okay,
I got a question for you here. Did you ever go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I haven't. No.
Oh man,
I haven't even been to the Football Hall of Fame. I got a lot of stuff I got to do when I get back, man.
Well, Clint and I, along with a couple buddies, when we were 19, we saved up some money. We didn't have a lot. We were poor Arkansas boys.
Took my mom's Astro van.
Yeah, we took his mom's Astro van, and we went to on a road trip just for 19.
Nice.
And we went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Paramont's King Island, and Cincinnati Reds game.
Yeah, people don't realize how lit Ohio is until you actually go there.
That's right.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff, man. Cedar Point's up there with me. I love that place.
Yeah.
And then we and that was when the Reds had Deion Sanders and
no way.
like that. So that was
Barry Larkin.
But anyway, so we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, your hometown is also the hometown of a famous rocker.
I feel like I should know this one.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
He doesn't know. Neither one, no one knows.
But you may not even know who this is when I say his name.
Who is it?
Dave Grohl.
Dave Joel, you said?
Grohl.
Oh,
no,
Dave
I
Grohl.
don't.
He's the lead singer for Foo Fighters. He was the drummer for Nirvana back in the day.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
When Kurt Cobain
I'll have to look him up.
When Kurt Cobain died, he took over. He started as lead singer, and now he's lead singer for Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know, man.
Now, of course, the dream now is to, I'm sure to, the draft's coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're not thinking a lot about that right now, so I don't want to tarry on that too long, but because your mind's on Omaha, but how does it feel coming to this point in your life and that is looking like a great reality for you, because a left-handed hitting catcher in the pros with a good arm, also a guy that if you need him to can go and play some of the corners, that's going to look good to some of these teams.
Yeah, I'm I don't know, man. I'm super excited. I've dreamed about that my whole life. The whole COVID year thing, that was like one of the biggest heartbreaks I've had, because that was my junior year, my draft year. So when it got cut down from 40 to 5, I knew it wasn't going to happen that year. So senior year at Kent was just, I'm obviously still looking to get drafted. Then I got hurt halfway through the year. So I'm like, dang, man. And then I got the opportunity here. So I think proving that you can play on this level is big to some guys, because I mean, you can, if you can play in the MAC, you can play here if you're one of the standout guys. But it's just a different caliber, man. When you're super, like, we won the conference my freshman year, and I was like, dang, like we're really good, man. And then you get to a regional and you just get exposed to some teams and you're just like, we aren't that good. So it's just a different caliber, man. I don't know. I'm excited, but like you said, I'm focused on Omaha right now, man. But I'm super excited about it for sure.
Yeah. Who did y'all play in the regional your freshman year?
So we went to Texas Tech and we never got to play them. We played Louisville the first game, we lost. Then we played New Mexico State, I think, and we won that game. And then we had to play Louisville again naturally, and we lost and we went home. So we never got to play Texas Tech. But yeah, that was the hottest conditions I've ever played in my life, man. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Fayetteville's a little nicer in Lubbock, isn't it?
Yeah, man. That was wild.
No, I went on vacation, went to Austin, Texas one time, and that was the hottest place on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had guys wearing so they have a turf field in Lubbock, and we had guys wearing the molded spikes, and we had to take them off because they were melting. It was 137 degrees on the turf on the field. Oh. It was like the closest thing to torture. It sucked, man. Everybody was exhausted. It was just it was bad.
Which do you like playing on better, the turf or grass?
A year ago, I would have told you turf, just because I played at Kent. We have a full turf field, and I've always been a huge fan of turf, just because, like, playing in Ohio, you got to have turf fields because the weather's so bad all the time. But that was before I knew that dirt fields like ours existed. So it's just, I don't know. I think I like a really nice dirt field, but if it's not a really nice dirt field, I got to go turf because it's just super consistent. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of caught there.
There's probably a huge difference between the facilities at MAC schools compared to these SEC stadiums.
Yeah, it's not even close. At Kent, we had a really nice indoor hitting facility. It was definitely the nicest in the MAC. It was let's see, we had 4 real big, high, long cages and a pitching mound in the back, and I was like in heaven. I thought that was the nicest thing ever when I got there. But seeing the Fowler and what we have here, you can't compare it.
So, Michael, what do you do? What's your like hobbies? What do you do for fun? Are you an outdoorsy guy? Are you a video game? Are you
a little bit of both of those, actually. I grew up hunting and fishing with my dad all the time. We hunt whitetails a lot. We fish a lot, walleyes, crappies. Me and my dad bass fish a lot. But whenever I get the chance to go home, we're definitely going hunting at some point. We got a little small cabin in West Virginia, so we go up there because you can't use rifles in Ohio, so we go to West Virginia for that. But a little bit of video games if I ever get time. Right now, no, just because I have so much going on. Come on. Somebody talked me into doing summer school, so I got to do that crap too. So
Nice.
got a lot going on.
Yeah. Now, have you got to hunt any around Fayetteville or in Arkansas or fishing?
No, I haven't. I went fishing. Let's see. I think just once. It was me, Paulette, and Wiggins. We went over to some pond, and it was fun. But that's the only chance I got.
You need to get some of them Arkansas boys to take you out. Do a little.
I know it, man. I don't know what they're waiting on.
You can. I'm sure. Well, I bet Caden's family, has some places.
Oh, yeah.
Do some hunting and fishing around,
Yeah.
and some others there. Now, we don't recommend doing what Traylon Burks does with the hunting hogs. Did you hear that story?
I don't think so. What do you do?
Traylon.
Yeah.
He would go hunt hog hunting with a hunting knife.
What?
Yeah, they you go with dogs, and the dogs will tie up the hog, and he would just jump on their back.
No way.
Cut them.
Dang, good for him, man. I'm not in on that one.
And trust me, as southern as this voice is, I don't hunt or fish either one.
Yeah.
If I was on that television show with Alone, as soon as they dropped me off, I'd be like, y'all just turn around. Come on back. I'm tapping right now.
Come on back. That's right.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's but there's some good fishing up there in Northwest Arkansas. There's some good to hit up. There's some good hunting around here too. It's now in Ohio, they don't. Is it just archery? Is that all you can do up there?
You can use gun. It's just shotgun though. No rifle.
No rifle. Okay, well, in Arkansas, you can use whatever rifle you want.
Oh yeah. That's right.
You don't care around here.
There's no regulation.
Shoot that thing with an AR-15. We don't give a crap.
Yeah, just walk out in the woods with a couple different choices and just see what happens.
Yeah, whatever works, man.
Whatever jumps in front of you to nail it. But yeah, well, man. What about what's your go-to as far as I know the food in Arkansas is a little different, probably some different kinds of restaurants. Are you a Wright barbecue guy, or are you a stick to more tradition?
I have an NIL with Wright's Barbecue, so I'm a big fan of them.
For sure.
I'm a big barbecue guy, man. If it's here in Ohio, I like it a lot. So I was pretty happy when I got that opportunity.
You all have some pretty good barbecue in Ohio.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, a couple spots. It's not as good as here for sure, but I mean, it'll get you by.
Well, I live in South Arkansas, and our barbecue isn't quite as good in South Arkansas as it is in North Arkansas. So
yeah, I get it.
But it's not too bad though. What about you have some downtime. What's your go-to as far as streaming, Netflix or Disney Plus or some of those? What kind of shows you into? You veg out on?
So I would say Netflix for the first answer, but I try to just do movies, because whenever I see a show, I get too involved and I'll lay on the couch all day and watch it. So I don't like to do that, man. I try to get one. If I'm really tired, I'll put a movie on and watch it, but I got to stay away from the shows. But the last show I watched was Blacklist, and I was like addicted to that, man. A week straight, I just watched it all day, and I just felt like a piece of crap all week. So ever since then, man, I got to stay away from them.
Because this jerk right here, he started talking about the show Alone. And so next thing you know, I've watched like 9 seasons. I haven't left the house in 3 months. Apparently I've lost my job because I was binging Alone. I don't just bad.
I did the same with like I waited a long time to watch it, but I kept hearing him talk about Friday Night Lights.
Oh man, I watched that one too. I did the same thing with that. That's one of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah, I waited a long time to watch it, but then I started watching it, and I'm all the way through the whole thing in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, it was really good.
I was such a Friday Night Lights dork that I went and like saw the Friday Night Lights sites, because apparently like Tim Riggins' house is a real house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like just a subdivision's house. They had his sign up in the window. I'm like, I'm gonna go look in there. And then a big dog come running out. And so I'm like, never mind. So yeah,
It's funny.
regular houses there in Austin, Texas. They just would film at.
Cool.
And if you hadn't watched it yet on Netflix, that new movie Hustle, you seen that yet with Adam Sandler?
No, I haven't. I saw a bunch of ads. No, I
Have you
haven't
watched
seen
it,
it
Clint?
Yeah, it's good.
It's really
We talked
good.
about this last night.
Oh, it is.
Oh, your memory's gone.
Sorry. But yeah, it's really good, man. It's about he's a NBA scout, and he goes and finds a player in Spain, and trying to get him in the NBA combine and all that.
I'll have to go watch it. That sounds good.
Yeah.
But well, man, as you're getting ready, y'all are getting ready for Omaha. What are some of the team? What are some of your goals for this weekend? Just get out there and play your best, or there's some specific things y'all are kind of trying to focus on as you get ready?
I wouldn't say anything specific. I think it's just carrying over the last 2 weeks, man. I think these last 2 weeks have by far the best we played all year. I was telling guys all week after we won that regional, I firmly believed that Oklahoma State was good enough to win the whole thing. That team, I seriously think that they were top number one, if not 2 or 3 best teams we played all year. That lineup was super hard to call a game against and pitch against and hit against. They were sound all the way around. So I think if we can just carry what we've been doing the last 2 weeks over into Omaha, we're gonna make a little run.
Now, low key, are you a little bit sad y'all didn't play Tennessee this year?
Yes.
I mean, I'm just going to come out and ask it.
Yeah. As a transfer, seeing the videos last year after playing for DBH and seeing him and Vitello get into it a little bit, it lights a fire underneath you for a second. So yeah, I'm a little upset we don't get to play them, but they had a heck of a year, man. It was good for them.
Yeah. I talked to Mike Floyd Sunday night after y'all won. By the way, when y'all won, I was in front of my church preaching.
Okay.
And I'm in a small church, and all of a sudden I look back and a senior high boy's on the back row, which he's actually a catcher for the local team.
Okay.
All of a sudden I see him doing something with his hands like this. About the Holy Ghost.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
If Floyd starts calling him during his sermon.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
Jerk takes the phone call.
I have my iPad on the podium, and I look up and it's saying a call from, and it starts ringing. It says a call from Mike Floyd.
Oh, man.
I was like, well, the Hogs must have won.
Heck yeah, that's cool.
But anyway, Mike, I talked to him after church, and he was driving. He's working in Tennessee, and he was wearing all Razorback stuff. And the first thing he did when he got to Knoxville was head into a Buffalo Wild Wings. Just sit there with all his Razorback hat, Razorback shirt.
Oh, man, that ain't good. That ain't good.
He's like, man, I can't wait to get to Knoxville.
That's funny.
He was
man.
In-person trolling, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, man, once again, Michael, we just got to say thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll stop recording just a second. We want you to stay on for just a second before we go. But I just want to say thank you for joining us, man. This means a lot to us.
Yeah.
And we are, as Razorback fans, we are proud of you guys, and we're proud of you for the way you've handled this year. You came in, we didn't really talk about it, but you also came in a pressure situation because you're following up a pretty daggone good catcher.
Oh yeah.
Favorite. Okay. And so in a lot of ways, you had a lot to live up to. And there's some young guys people were kind of wanting to see too. And so there was, you stepped into a situation that, wasn't necessarily the easiest one to step into. And you've handled it with class, you've handled it with humor, you've been, open, just to respond to people on Twitter and things like that, even if it's just with an emoji or something, you're interacting with them and stuff. And man, that means a lot. It really does. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I think the fans just have loved having you. And once you're a hog, man, you're always a hog. So
Yeah,
so
man.
we're
I
proud to
appreciate
have you.
that.
And man, we want you to go and enjoy this weekend. You know, I've sent you a couple messages, but one of my favorite quotes, a missionary named Jim Elliott said, "Wherever you are, be all there." And I think sometimes in life, you know, we get so busy with everything that we don't enjoy that moment, and we don't just soak in that moment for everything it is. And you know, in baseball, it's a moment by moment game, man. You're pitch by pitch. It's like you were talking about figuring out what that guy's going to throw me. And you, of course, with you, you're figuring out what's this guy ready to hit? You know, what do we do? And man, and just all those moments, you know, those that you're having right now, man, just enjoy it, because you know you're getting to live some cool stuff. And I know you know that. I know you know that, but I just want to say it. And we do appreciate you. Clint, you got something you want to add?
Yeah, I was going to tell you, I do have a bit of good news for you. I've been to Nebraska before. It's not humid, so you've got that.
Okay, cool.
You're
That's the best news yet.
So
that's right.
I mean, it's flat, nothing but corn, but it's not humid.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a little cooler even in Fayetteville, so that'd be nice.
Nice. I hope you're right.
Maybe we won't have any of those crazy rain delays, man. Or lightning.
Oh man, that was so bad.
Yeah, I bet. What did y'all do? I meant to ask you this earlier, but let me say it real quick. What did y'all do to kind of stay zoned in during that? Just kind of relax and
everybody just kind of chilled out. I personally just sat in the dugout and just kind of tried to stay warm. They had a room in the back for us, but it was really cold, and I just didn't want to get all tightened up because I didn't know how long it was going to be. So I was either sitting in the dugout or just walking around a little bit, talking to people, but nothing specific. They had a little locker room for us with a TV on, so we were watching a different game for a little bit. But yeah, I was just doing my best to stay loose. Well,
y'all did a great job, man. And once again, Hog fans everywhere, man. We're behind you. We're supporting you, and we're can't wait to watch you. And just keep it up. And maybe we can get you on another time after the season and talking about the Major League Draft or something. Then you can focus on that.
Let's do it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it.
And
no problem, man.
Y'all, thanks for listening. Thank folks that are out there. You know, we're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon.
Travis is on Farmers Only still.
I'm still on Farmers Only, and my DMs are wide open, folks. Anyway, just like and share this, y'all. This is an awesome interview, Michael. We appreciate you. Appreciate Mike Floyd for helping make this happen. A great friend and a great guy, and so just thanks a lot. And y'all have Michael's going to Omaha.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed.